Here is the SP40S Safepath voice evacuation system, multifunctional, UL listed, OSHA approved, fully supervised, which is a big main difference between what a traditional paging system has.
Right.
I don't know that I've ever come across a paging system that is actually supervised. There might be some out there. Kind of same functionality of what your existing paging system is. However, you know, you're going to be able to legally make fire announcements now, as opposed to maybe what you're doing. No, I'm just kidding. As long as the AHJ gave you approval, you can do whatever the heck you want to do. Again, OSHA approved, UL listed, can be used with or without a fire alarm control panel. I believe, as we mentioned before, we are going to be merging the fire alarm control panel. So now you're going to have one system, automated as well. So when that fire alarm system goes off, somebody pulls a pull station. If it's monitoring the existing sprinkler system as well, you don't have to worry about anybody getting on announcements. You're going to automatically have this.
May I have your attention, please? A fire emergency has been reported in the building. While this is being verified, please leave the building by the nearest exit. Do not use the elevators.
I think that would get some people's attention.
No doubt.
Absolutely. By the way, that's coming out of I believe, a 1-watt speaker, just to kind of give you an idea of what you're talking about when we're talking about tapping some of these speakers at between 7 and 15 watts. You're not going to have any issue at all of hearing this system, trust me. In fact, you'll probably end up getting complaints from the people that it's turning that thing down. Again, 8 messages. Generally, fire is number 1. Generally, weather emergencies 2. Again, however you want to do it.
Configure it, correct. Right.
Absolutely. In fact, what I'll do is I'll send a little archaic how we even do it to this day. I have one of my techs in our factory in Jersey literally reads off of a piece of paper and records a chip in a professional recording studio. Sends it to Ricardo's folks, take the existing one out, plug it in, you're done. You want to configure it again, it's virtually nothing when it comes to the total cost of the, you know, if you want to change some messaging, we can do some foreign languages as well, if you need that done. Live mic, obviously the microphone takes precedence over any message, okay? You know, again, the fire message is going to be automatically triggered by your fire alarm system. If you have some other systems that you want this system to be automatically triggered by, some folks will use a security system, or maybe a chemical leak type of system maybe you have throughout the facility. You want to run an automatic message through the Safepath as well. You can do that, again, all through dry contacts.
This can also be activated through a NOAA. This would be an industrial NOAA radio. So this would monitor NOAA events for this area. When the events come up to, you know, a checklist, at that point it can hit the contact and play the appropriate message for tornado.
Absolutely. Again, this is sitting here just waiting you for use it.
Right.
Automatically or manually, however you want to do it.
Right. Because I know one of the things that we do, even when we're doing our testing, our fire alarm testing, obviously the security announced, hey, we're doing a test on the fire evacuation system. This is a test. You know, that, you know, still want that, you know, to happen. So as alarms and stuff will go off, because once the alarm goes off, I mean, we basically silence it. We silence it, you know, go through the test, but there's still, you know, the live mic where before we do the test, security comes over the loudspeaker and announces that to the general population, so that way nobody evacuates the building unnecessarily.
Right. Yeah. Excellent. Yeah, that's great. That's great. One thing, I actually have it here in my possession here. You keep on mentioning the security guard situation. maybe just as an idea, I don't know if you necessarily need to have a complete local operator controller, which is essentially a remote enunciator of this. I think that might be overkill, but you might want to think about throwing a remote mic really, really close to him, to where if something immediately happens, he doesn't have to worry about pushing buttons.
Right.
This would be an all call. He lifts it up and makes an announcement immediately.
Okay. And we'll look. I want to say there's something over there now.
Okay.
Yeah, but
And
we'll
you,
see.
and you can do it through the paging system as well.
Right.
But this is a very easy, you know, some folks may panic. Is it a 0-0 that I hit, a 0-1?
Right.
He literally lifts this up, keys it, speaks. Done.
Right.
Might be an idea.
Right.
Can maybe do it as an option, Ricardo.
Right.
Let me think here. The system has 40 watts of power on board. Now, obviously, when we're talking about this type of installation, that really is insignificant.
Mm-hmm.
But it can expand anywhere from 5,500 to 6,000 watts.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say you expand your building down the road.
Right.
Okay, you're not going to outrun this thing.
Right.
You're not even going to come close to outrunning it. Simply then, if you expand, throw another amplifier in there, speakers over on the amplifier,
Mm-hmm.
continue on.
Right.
Okay. Again, as your functionality works right now, you have a telephone interface,
Mm-hmm.
and as Ricardo knows, you guys obviously do have an IP-based phone system here.
Mm-hmm.
It does need to receive a 600 ohm output. This is the beauty of what he does. He has that in-between situation because really technically it's set up for an analog phone system.
Right.
But Ricardo has all that covered.
Yep.
It also has a background music port. I don't think that's something you're going to be using, but just FYI more than anything.
Right.
Again, as I said before, we said the phone portion, the phone paging can be divided up and zoned out.
Right.
The system, the emergency notification buttons,
Mm-hmm.
as well as the microphone, that is an all call period.
Okay.
Okay,
Right.
so there's no getting around that. If one of these goes off, everybody hears it.
Right.
If somebody picks up a live mic, everybody hears it,
Mm-hmm.
which is the way it should be. This is for emergencies.
Exactly.
So you can now trigger a specific announcement by pressing a button. You can also do it through a push or pull station.
Absolutely.
And you can also do it through contact closure. Contact closure is, for example, the relay from the fire alarm panel. If you had a chemical alarm that would trigger an alarm, that could be a contact closure. Also, a relay from telephone system. So if we wanted to call this system specific, we can dial an extension number. That extension number would hit a contact closure relay that we actually have included in this solution, and it would trigger the appropriate message on the system. So maybe a 3-digit number or 4-digit number, however your system is set up right now. It's easy enough to do.
No, absolutely. Again, it's do whatever the heck you want with it.
Yeah. Black box, and you can basically customize it to however we want to do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It really is.
Right.
What you see is what you get here as well. This is what is going to be on your wall.
Right.
So it's very, very easy and user to use as well, folks. You know, there's not really a whole lot of even programming to it when it's all said and done. It's very easily installed.
Mm-hmm.
Now, again, with your zoning of your paging, obviously that's going to have to be wired a little bit different than just running wire throughout the whole building. It has to be zoned up as it is right now properly. So you want to keep that in mind as well.
One of the other things I want to talk about too is in many cases when you're dealing with tornado, what usually happens is the electricity goes out before the tornado shows up. Right. It hits a transformer box and knocks out the power. So the system that we have configured for you also is going to include battery backup. Right. So each one of the amplifiers will have battery. This main control unit has battery. Right. And that battery, I believe, is about a 15-minute runtime. Okay. So that, again, you've got some time to get that message out after the power gets knocked out.
Right. But also, too, with that, I'm glad you brought that up. We're looking at installing a generator. Actually, there's an active project now to basically in outages, whatever outages, being able to keep up our critical systems like our fire system,
Right.
paging system, and
Yep.
all that. So
Absolutely.
that's double protection too. So.
Okay.
Perfect. Again, that's pretty much it. I mean, it's a very easy to understand system. It is what it is. It has been around. This thing is in so many manufacturing facilities across the country, military. Very, very early on, when the mass notification bubble started to blow up, this was being spec'd in the majority of military installations. It's, again, it's a workhorse. It's a little bit, when it comes to technology, almost even antiquated, because there's just not a whole lot to it as far as the wiring goes. I mean, it's all hardwired, fire alarm, 14 gauge wire.
Yep.
So you have all that, nothing wireless with this particular situation. So
Right.
that's really about it with a nutshell. I mean, obviously you've seen this before. Do you have any questions, any issues